Yo, welcome back. Uh, so in this video, I to uh, wanted to talk about the Trent Dilfer hiring at UAB. I got a few thoughts on it. Um, so I have the ESPN app. Obviously, if you see my videos, I do a lot of ESPN article stuff when it comes to news from the sports world. I have the app, so I get notifications, and I had the notifications a couple of days ago um, about Trent Dilfer. He's the he got hired at UAB, which, if you don't know, the University of Alabama in Birmingham. They are the Blazers. I believe they are still in DC, USA. Um, I don't think they moved around at all because if you don't know, uh, I think like mid 2000s, the football team actually dissolved. I think it was like for a year or two, but they were able to come back and play football again. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of UAB. Um, so I looked around, I put in Trent Dilfer, and I found out this article right here from Fox News. Um, Apparently, there's more to this story that meets the eye. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'll put this here. All right. So title: Super Bowl champion quarterback expected to take UAB job despite players advocating for current interim coach. Reports. Trent Dilfer has no prior coaching experience. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on that and why that's very irrelevant. But I'll get to that at the end. So pretty much here it is. Trent Dilfer, who quarterbacked the Baltimore Ravens during the Super Bowl run during the 2000 season, is expected to be hired as the next head coach of UAB, despite players wanting the school to keep Brian Vincent, who is the interim coach right now, according to multiple reports. Dilfer has been coach of Lipscomb, I can never say that, Lipscomb Academy in Tennessee for the last 4 years, guiding the school to 3 state championship games, including one set for Thursday night. I guess if you're looking at this video at the time that it's released, it is Thursday. This is essentially today against uh, Christ Presbyterian Academy. He has no previous coaching experience, and then that's his school right there. I can't see that. Football Scoop first reported UAB was targeting Dilfer. ESPN reported a deal has yet to be finalized, but the two sides are expected to come to terms within the next few days. Dilfer played for the Ravens, and then this is his, his resume. Bucks, Seahawks, Browns, San Francisco 49ers. He was 7-1 as a starter in the lone season with the Ravens. He was Pro Bowl in '97 with the Bucks. The potential move comes months after Bill Clark, who was the previous head coach, stepped down due to health complications. Vincent took over in the interim and led UAB to 6-6. I'm assuming they'll be in the bowl, maybe. UAB players sent a letter to the president criticizing the coaching search and advocated for Vincent to keep the job. So this is where kind of the drama, I guess, comes in with the hire. Blazers defensive lineman Fish McWilliams posted a letter to school president Ray Watts on his Twitter account. We, as the players and the team, want our voices to be heard. We deserve to be heard. We have represented this program and university and built something special here. Okay. We believe in Coach Vincent and want him to be our head coach. UAB athletic director Mark Ingram, responded in a statement to AL.com. President Watts and I are proud of our UAB football program and the dedicated student athletes, coaches, staff who have led us to our 7th consecutive season of the team's bowl eligibility. Okay. I am leading a national search with a committee representing the UAB community to identify our next head coach. I have been aware of the desires expressed by members of the team and appreciate their perspective that have been taken into account as we work to close out the search. Is that it? Oh, okay. It was a very abrupt ending to that article. Okay. Okay. I was very shocked at how short that was. Okay, so essentially, I didn't know about this. I couldn't find the actual. I don't. Did they? I don't know if they brought that up in the. Let me see if they brought that up. Let me move that. Trent Dilfer. So let's see. So I think this was the article from the notification. Okay. I was going through these articles real quick because the ESPN articles don't really, they're not really, they didn't bring up the part with about the UAB athletes. Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. They shut down in 2014 and they didn't play again until 2017. Okay, they are in the Conference USA. Gotcha. Yeah, they just talking about how he's not well versed in the tradition, in the history. I mean, that's you got to learn. I mean, you're not gonna know everything about the school that you go to when you first coach, unless you were a coach, unless you were unless you're alma mater or something. Okay, and then okay, so this is the part where the team sent a letter to the school. Right. They're losing a man they truly, truly believe in. Talking to those players today, you can see the pain in their eyes. They love Coach Vincent. They love that staff. And I said, I want to honor that. I want to help them finish strong. But I also hope to earn their trust as we go through this together because great things are coming. So we'll connect for our current roster and recruit them. Vincent will stay and coach the team. Okay, they didn't make the bowl. In the hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl on December 16th against Louisiana. Ooh, they're going to the Bahamas Bowl. I'm mad they're not sponsored by Popeyes anymore. That was the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl. That was dope. That was dope. But yeah. All right, so there's two things. Get that out of here. I don't want to see that. I hate these ads. I'm gonna just put it right there. I don't want to see those ads. You can look at those editors' picks if you want. So there's two things I wanna address. The one thing, because I know people want to bring this up, especially with the Jeff Saturday hire a couple weeks ago. You have to sometimes you have to gain experience. You have to gain experience at some point in order to what am I trying to say? You have to gain experience to actually gain the experience. I don't know how to explain it. You have to get the experience from somewhere. Is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like the thing when you apply for a job and they're like, you need 2 years of this and this, but but like you can't do this because you don't have the experience. But they want you to have 2 years of experience of something, but you can't do it because you don't have the 2 years of experience type of thing. I know I'm explaining this very badly, but you know what I mean. You guys have known if you've ever applied for a job when they want that experience thing. We're like, oh, how am I supposed to get all that experience when I just got out of college? I don't have 2 to 5 years of whatever experience you need me to get because I haven't done the experience yet. You know what I mean? It's like that. People I already know how this is. Now the thing with the Trent Dilfer thing is because one, he's not that famous of an NFL quarterback. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he wasn't very well known. Like unless you're an NFL fan or like you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, like me, then you know about Trent Dilfer. But this isn't that big. This isn't a bigger story, and it's not. He's not getting as much backlash as Jeff Saturday because this is a very middle of the pack. They're like middle to like upper of the CUSA. And UAB is not very talked about, even amongst like the Group of Five teams. Um, all right, you already know that people are going to get on about. Oh, he only coached high school football for 4 years. But it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, but he's coached the team to four straight state titles. Like I don't like, at some point it's like that speaks for itself. You know what I mean? I could see if he was I can see if he was like an assistant, right, or like a coordinator at the high school level, and he got a head coaching job. Then I can understand that. Like that's kind of a big stretch. You know what I mean? Because you're going from you're being a coordinator at the high school level to being a head coach at the collegiate level. Granted, UAB is a small school, but it's still a FBS school. It's a big time college program. There's only I think it's like 130 FBS schools in the whole country. Out of there's thousands, I would say tens of thousands of colleges in America. There's only 130 that are at the highest division of football or division, yeah, that are in the highest division of college football in America. So me personally, I have no problem with this hire. Um, like I said, UAB is pretty much I'm not gonna say a doormat. They're more of like I said, they're a middle of the pack to upper level CUSA team. I think they can play. I think it's possible he could do something, mess around, get him into the top 25. Um, my only concern is how long would he stay there? Because the thing about some of these hires is I don't like when I get there's always something bigger on the horizon. There's always something you want to strive for. You want to keep climbing the ladder. But sometimes to me, it's like some of these guys are only around for like 2-3 years, and then it's like they're on to the next thing. And I don't want to see that, man. In the pros, I don't really care. In the NFL, you jump from job to job, position to position coach or whatever. I really don't care, man, because that's pro football. That's to be expected. But with college football, there needs to be some kind of stability, some kind of structure, some kind of culture you got to build. Um, everyone wants to be a head coach, but if you notice, there's only been like a handful of guys that really stick around for a program and become like the elites of the elites. in college football history. Like you got your Bobby Bowdens, your Joe Paternos, you got your Frank Beamers, you got Saban now, Dabo, you got Kirby Smart, you got who else? Uh, back in the day, you had Pete Carroll. You still got Mac Brown. You know what I mean? There's only a handful of guys that are like generational type coaches. They expand decades. You know what I mean? Of coaching college football, and that's a lot of these guys. They just go from job to job every few years, and they don't really do much. You know what I mean? They make a lot of money. They may get their name out there. They'll get plenty of opportunities to coach, but they're never really building anything. You know what I mean? They treat it like they kind of treat the coaching job, not all of them, but some of them do. They treat it as they treat it more like it's a job instead of a career, and that's two different things. A job is something you work, uh, just to make ends meet, just to make a living. But a career is something you last and you have a passion for, and you want to strive to expand upon. You know what I mean? That's what I said. Them names I just listed out. That was like 7 names out of all the coaches that ever coached college football. Oh, and I forgot about the FCS level. The Eddie Robinson Sr. back in the day. You know what I mean? There's only a handful of guys that coach for very long times because, one, they have the passion. They want to build something. And, I mean, to be fair, why would you not want to build something as long as possible? Like, in my opinion, I'd stay at a school until they make me leave. I would never, me personally, I wouldn't necessarily, jump for the biggest job out there, unless it made sense. You know what I mean? There's obviously business decisions you want to make, but to just like, 2-3 years, all right, I'm out. I'm getting the job at, I don't know. He ends up doing really well the first couple of years. And he gets an offer from, I don't know. I don't know, Vanderbilt or something. I'd see him taking that because why not? You know what I mean? But at the same time, if the school's on a run and they're making waves and making headlines and they're always winning and they're top 25 program all the time, why would you leave that? You know what I mean? And I think a reason why a lot of these smaller schools, and not just the smaller group of five, but the smaller Power Five teams, I think the reason why they don't actually make a buzz late in the season and they don't actually challenge the big guys is because they don't have a coach that's around long enough to build anything. That's why everyone keeps talking about who every year, even if like this year, even if Alabama has a bad season with two losses, incredibly enough, it's a bad season for Alabama. They're always talking about every year when they come in, they got one of the top 5 recruiting classes, and who's going to be the team to knock out Alabama. You talk about that every year. Even Georgia just won the championship, and they're still talking about Alabama. I don't even think they talked about Georgia as much as Alabama this year, and they were the defending champions. That's crazy. But you see what I'm saying? It takes a guy that wants to stick around and create something to have a chance. Dabo didn't, he's still there. But why would you leave? He built that from the ground up. That's his creation. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that was the thing about the no coaching experience. You gotta start somewhere. And like I said, he was a head coach in high school, led him to state titles 4 years in a row since he's been there. Why not give him a chance? It's not like he's jumping from Lipscomb High School or Academy, whatever it's called, to like I don't know to like Tennessee or something. It's not that big of a jump. It's it's UAB. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. People said the same thing about um, Deion Sanders. Oh well, he only coached high school football, and then he's a head. Well, he was a head coach in high school. They both know the basis of how to run a team. Now, obviously, in college, it's a little bit more different. It's a little bit more. There's a lot more stuff that goes on because it's a college. Basically it's young adults. It's not kids. You know what I mean? So it's a lot more stuff you have to worry about. But they have. I think the only coach that didn't get any like real flack. Everyone's praising it. Is like the Herm Edwards hire when he got hired at Arizona State. Now, I know there were people who were like, well, Herm Edwards really wasn't that great of a NFL head coach, so why would you hire him as a college coach? And you might be right. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the teams like the Jets and the excuse me, I forgot who else he coached. He coached another team. He coached the Jets and someone else. But yeah, you think you part of getting these NFL guys, these former NFL guys, is one is for the exposure, and two, there's something they can teach these young guys. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the X's and O's, but about life. You know what I'm saying? Herm Edwards is an older gentleman. Deion Sanders is an older gentleman. Trent Dilfer is somewhat older. That. I don't think he's at the age of like Deion and Herm Edwards. I don't think he's that old yet. But they've had the experience of life and what it takes to get to the next level. As a player, as a coach. Because Herm Edwards did play ball back in the day. Um, so yeah, so that's all I got for the experience thing. The second thing is about the letter that one of the players, I forgot his name. I said his name. Oh my gosh, his name is a cool name. It was what did he say? What was the name? What was his name? There you go. His name is the guy that wrote it. It's a cool name. Fish McWilliams. There we go. Yeah. So my thing with the letter to the administration, I have no problem with it. I get it on the emotional level because that guy was there with the original head coach who had to step down. So I get it. There's a connection there with him. You want him to stay. You didn't have the greatest season, but sometimes it's more than just the wins and losses. Sometimes it's about the camaraderie and the bonding you make with your teammates and your coaches. And they thought, hey, we love this guy so much. Let's give him a full year. Let him have his own off season. Let him control the recruiting and let him see what he can do because he's part